I know the best people. I know the best managers. I know the best deal makers. I know people that will make us so strong. I know guys that are so good. I know the good ones, the bad ones, the overrated ones. I know the best people. We've got the best people. I have the best people. So we're going to get the best people. They've been calling me by the dozen. I have guys lined up. Believe me. We're going to deliver. We're going to deliver. We're going to get the best people in the world.
He knows people. We figured it's Friday night. We've got to look at how we got here and where we've been. So we put together a great conversation group for this. Joining our conversation, Pulitzer Prize-winning presidential author and historian, biographer of Jefferson, Jackson, FDR, Churchill, and most recently Bush 41, Jon Meacham. Boston Globe, well, boy, it's Friday night. Boston Globe columnist and the chair of journalism ethics at Poynter, Indira Lakshmanan, is with us, and longtime radio talk show host, author, friend of the broadcast, Charlie Sykes. And Charlie, because a man from Kenosha, Wisconsin, is in the news tonight because he is a friend of yours, I'm going to start with him. Start wherever you like, but a personal note about what Reince Priebus' life has looked like these past 6 months, what his departure today means to you. I'd love to hear it.
Well, you know, I do think of Reince as a friend, but I think the story is tragic because he made a series of decisions. He made a series of rationalizations. He enabled and empowered Donald Trump. And even though a lot of us warned him that this would end badly, I don't think anybody thought that it was going to end in this torrent of profanity, obscenity, and humiliation that we have seen. You know, Reince says that he's going to try to keep this classy and above board, but the reality is that when you watch the trajectory of the first 6 months of this presidency, it's not because Reince Priebus was a bad chief of staff. It's because you have a dysfunctional president. Everything starts and ends with Donald Trump. And unfortunately, despite, you know, what a great American General Kelly is, he's going to inherit that same dysfunction. At the center of everything that is happening is Donald Trump. And by the way, the big question that I have is, what was the really defining move of the last week? Was it the appointment of General Kelly? Or was it the appointment of the Mooch? The Mooch, who is obviously an unhinged, you know, sycophantic sociopath who has now been named the communications director of the President of the United States. You know, he's been described as the president's id. If that is the future of this presidency, then I'm not sure that General Kelly is going to be able to turn it around.
I love Friday nights around here. It loosens up the tongue. Jon Meacham, again, as I said to General McCaffrey, the launch of a missile today sharpens the mind, and it causes you, if you're at all worried about such things and response to such things, to ask about competence in the White House at the top of the most fearsome arsenal in the world.
You know, I was talking to a very senior Republican lawmaker last week who said that he was more concerned about what he called the competence deficit in the White House than he was even about Russia. And he was worried about Russia and the possibilities about what happened in 2016. I do think that General Kelly is good news on that front. But we all know, I mean, history is made up of the unexpected. And every White House comes in thinking that they can master events. And events nearly always master them. That's the way the world works. As far as General Kelly goes, I don't know if he knows the story, but exactly 30 years ago, in 1987, when Don Regan was on his way out as Reagan's chief of staff, Ronald Reagan decided to call the great Howard Baker of Tennessee, who was out of the House when the president called to offer him the chief of staff job. And Senator Baker was at the zoo with his grandchildren. And his wife said, "Mr. President, he can't come to the phone. He's at the zoo." And President Reagan said, "Well, wait till he sees the zoo I've got in mind for him." So I think that, the Reagan White House looks like the Kennedy School compared to this.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.